So, welcome to week 3 of Days Till Dragon Con. This is Frank's follow up, and what have you been working on?
Wow, week 3.
I
What's
know,
our
right?
count? What are we down to? Like 53 days, something like that.
Something stupid like that. Something that
Well,
makes my head hurt.
'cause last week was the 4th of July weekend. I didn't get a whole lot of things done. This week's been a little bit more productive. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Still working on the Black Lantern project. The cape right now is my current problem. I think I talked about it a little bit before. Last week, the cape that I was working on was going to have to be something completely custom designed. There's no pattern that exists for it. So basically, I spent probably a good part of a day designing the first half of the cape. Cape's going to be 2 pieces. Actually, I have the finished bottom piece here that I can display. Uh, Probably can't fit all of it on here. Maybe I can back a little bit. But what we have here is basically just 2 parts of the cape. The top part of the cape mounts off of the shoulder pads. Uh, Basically, is held in place by these same. They're just screws and washers. And that's
Mm-hmm.
an easy thing. That's not actually sewn in any way or tied with any kind of string. But why I hammer down so low is you can see actually how the cape goes. It tapers,
Nice, yeah.
flares out a little bit at the ends. And then these parts that you can see here, the Black Lantern envelopes, are actually hand embroidered, and those took a couple days to do. Hand embroidery takes forever, but the judges love it. So it's been actually pretty helpful with me with judging
Mm-hmm.
competitions in the past. To do hand embroidery, my male Elsa
Mm-hmm.
for MemoCon had a lot of hand embroidering work on it, and that's probably what helped me and my friend win this group. So I figured throwing in a little hand embroidery on this, so if you enter into the costume contest, would be a bad idea.
Right.
Uh, what I have basically here behind this piece, I think I've showed this before, is a piece of Orgla about a 1 inch wide, basically 2 sheets thick. It's just for a little bit of a strength. But what it is it's going to be a mounting piece for one of the smoke generators that I'm going to have inside the cape. I think last week I had shown this cut down version.
Mm-hmm.
I demonstrated it. It's basically going to be mounted underneath the cape. You won't be able to see it. The
Right.
second part of the cape that I'll be making is going to be the hood. The hood itself, at least the back part of it, is going to, again, mount off these same screw holes that are here. Basically, all I did for the cape to hang them through those same holes is I sewed buttonholes in them, so they'll
Okay.
never come out. That way they're reinforced.
Right.
You basically can hang the length of the cape. This cape, which is funny, weighs practically nothing. The inside of it is just a satin, a dull satin, and the outside a very light, almost like a cotton burlap.
Okay.
I'm sort of trying to keep a little bit correct to it. Looks a little more like a net cloak, something like that. So once I make the hood for this, and to the hood is also going to be embroidered, at least the top part of the hood as it comes down. Like
Mm-hmm.
an Assassin's Creed hood. It's going to be similar
Okay.
to that.
Okay.
And I can finally say the hood's done, and I can start working on some of the electronics, uh, as in getting the smoke generator mounted into it. Actually, I have, but this is actually a cut down version of this.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the size difference we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Big difference. This you can't exactly hide in too many
Right.
places.
Right.
This you can. So this one is as well going to be cut down because this costume calls for 2 of them. Well,
Right.
this one here is actually already cut and have a mount for it for my sight back there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So put the mount on the top of it. This one is going to be the one that's going to be cut down. That's going to be mounted behind the cape.
Wow.
But a lot of smoke. A lot of smoke.
Smoke is awesome.
I hope. The bad thing is about electronics and smoke it can fail you at the most inopportune times. So you have to make sure all of your soldering connections are good with your wiring. Your smoke, you have to make sure your batteries are good. You have enough fluid in the reservoirs for them to work. So a lot. But once I finish the hood on this, top part of the hood, get that done, I will be pretty much done with the sewing portion of this costume. I'm going to be moving on to finishing the sight. It's over my shoulder there. It still needs, although it looks finished, it is not. It's probably about 75% of the way there. It needs some work, some more fit and finish work. Obviously, the smoke generator needs to be mounted in as well. And then I'm going to have to start working on boots for this costume, and the arms. The arms are basically going to be. I'm going to make gauntlets for this costume out of Corvla. They're going to basically make my fingers look longer, more extended, kind of evil-like, I guess you could say. But be using a pair of old leather gloves as a base to mount these finger extensions, almost like armor gauntlets. To go back to my elbow, that's going to take a lot of work. That's probably going to be a very time-consuming part of the build once I get the hood and the boots done and the sight done. So it's going to be a stretch. I also have a commission piece, a steam commission piece that I need to get done for Dragon Con, and it's involved. It's going to take a couple of weeks, so I need to figure all of that into my equation as well.
Oh, jeez. Oh man, that's so much.
It is. It's a lot, and to get this to work. As far as I know from last year at Dragon Con, nobody was really running any kind of smoke generators. I did not see. I could be wrong. I know for a fact nobody has run any that I've seen in the past 3 years or so in competitions.
Right.
Other than my friend that I mentioned last year, or last episode, Daniel Valdez. He might have seen his. We're talking around 2009, 2010. He did a Steampunk Professor X.
Yeah, I've seen it with the wheelchair.
Yeah, that chair was running same kind of smoke generator.
Oh, okay.
The one that actually showed me how to put them down and miniaturize them. I've never seen anybody do them since then.
Right.
Keep sort of bringing that back a little bit, and I think these little mini smoke generators have something for costuming for those who are crazy enough to use them, or at least try to get them to work with their costumes, because they are pretty temperamental.
Right.
They can burn out on you, and in a moment's notice, you really don't know. The batteries drain pretty quickly too. Plus, the fact you have to keep them pressurized with some sort of a bellows pump, just to be able to keep the smoke rolling if that's what your intent is. So it's a lot of work.
Jeez.
Boy, it looks cool. Well, that's the whole thing about it. It should look really good.
That's so much going on. But I mean, there's 52 days.
52. Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot and is not a lot at the same time.
It is. I'm actually still teaching summer classes. I don't think I've ever announced it on here, but I'm a history professor, and I'm teaching a summer semester, 3 courses. They end at the end of July. So fortunately, the rest of August, I have off until fall semester starts the last week of August. I'll have like 3 weeks off.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, completely dedicate to it, because that's the teaching's taking up so much time. I know how dare it got my costume time.
Jeez Louise.
But I think I can get it all done. I'm more worried about trying to get that commission out as well as this, but I've been working on that in between this. If I sort of run into a brick wall with something on this, I'll work on that commission piece. If it's a steampunk camera, it's actually kind of a neat thing. I'll have it probably on my Wicked Taylor page. It is going to be modeled, actually I should show you real quick. I know it has nothing to do with what we're doing for the project, but it's kind of cool. This is actually a period around the 1890s or so, 1900 period camera. Basically going to look something similar to this with the bellows, but it's going to have a DSLR camera inside of it.
Wow.
Fully digital, It'll have basically like a plunger style shutter for it, so you can just set it up. Your way of zooming in is you have to move it on a tripod.
Okay.
Basically, it'll look like an old style camera, but you'll get digital photos out of it. And I got to get that done in and around while I'm working on this.
Oh, that'd be so cool. And then there needs to be a picture of
Well,
you. There needs to be a picture.
there's
Of
going
you
to be.
no, I'm saying of you in your costume, and then the person with the camera taking your picture.
The person I'm building it for is going to be there. It's going to be delivered at DragonCon. So, yeah, there will be pictures taken.
Awesome. But I want a picture of your picture being taken with it.
That sounds good. I've already lined up a few photographers that are going to be at DragonCon that want to shoot this, the Black Lantern costume. And I think there'll be probably plenty coming out of the woodwork once everybody sees it finished. It's going to be pretty neat looking. And the fact that I'll be around 6'6" in the boots, it's going to be hard to miss me.
It's gonna be so crazy.
I'm hoping.
And did you get your padlocks in?
I did. I didn't. I forgot that I did not show those. I actually did. I have 3 of them. They're all going to be utilized in the costume, but I can actually show on the camera here what they look.
Wow.
They're a neat little tiny padlock. Just take a little tiny, almost looks like a handcuff key.
Mm-hmm.
I think it sort of adds the right look that I was going for the costume.
Yeah, it works really well.
So that's what we ended up going with for that. I ended up having put one onto my lantern on. Well, once I get to showing that with the site, I actually had used one for this on the side that you can't see right now.
Okay.
And probably the week I explained the lantern, and I ended up using one of the padlocks to hold it down because it's a latch, like a little door. And
Okay.
one, so I was like, hey, I got 3 of these. I might as well use them.
Right.
The third I ended up using on padlock that I needed for my Steampunk Iron Man backpacks.
Mm.
So they kind of got around a little bit depending on where I needed the costumes for them. But not very decent. I'm hoping, that's another little thing that I hope the judges notice with it, because in all honesty, the entire costume's going to be completely fabricated, everything, from the clothing to the armor and everything. So that's, I think that's what helped me last year.
Right.
Contest. And I'm hoping that's what helps this year too. Last year, I think the only thing I hadn't made was the boots. Same thing as this year, although I accessorized them just the same.
Right.
These ones.
Wow. Well.
That's about all I have to do for this one. It's been a little tough because of the holiday break.
Right. Well, you still have a lot done.
Yeah, but there's just so much more to do.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I keep thinking of new things that I want to be able to do to it, and I just keep saying, "Hope I have enough time." So.
Well, I have all the confidence in the world in you.
I do too. I mean, we've been pretty lucky with this. Everybody's been really great. Our sponsors have been great. You can see it. Got my shirt in.
Yes, thank you, Game Masters Guild, for the shirts. And we have a ton of other sponsors that are super awesome and too numerous to mention at the moment. But I think that's going to be it for this week. And then we're going to check back next week and see what other new progress you've made.
I'm hoping that hood is done by next week, and hopefully I started on tearing the lantern apart and getting it finished up. So that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, the hood will definitely be some ways along there. I have to make that pattern from scratch as well. That's going to probably be a little harder than making this one, the bottom part of the cape. But I think I can do it.
I believe in you. You're going to do that. Alrighty.